Maryland. Are you ready to go? Because I certainly am. It's KUHS Live with the WOW Show and the sweet, the infamous. Carla, you look great.
Why, thank you, Mr. Henry.
And so we're all ready to go and talk about a lot of things. And I'm sure you have a lot of different things that you want to talk about today, and I know that one of them could be about the economy, the rising prices, gas, how it affects your business and those in the trucking business and all these different things. And some of the things, the subjects and subject lines you brought to the table here. So let's get busy.
Let's get rolling. Awesome. Well, yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about changes, but I really want to talk about what's behind changes, which is levels of expectations. Levels of expectations, okay? Because this is really what drives either fear or love in all of us, and as well as how we're handling our businesses and operating with as changes emerge. So I think one of the most obvious ones right now, beside what we already do know, but for those of you that drive, which is how many millions of people, is the great spike in gas prices. And I've already seen where people are almost going into cocoon mode. Okay, I had a guy recently on one of my networking groups this week who said he literally just sold his car, and he's really happy that he sold his car because now not only does he have to worry about gas, but he doesn't have to worry about insurance or repairs or anything else. And he's a financial advisor. He lives downtown. Nice shout out to Corey. Hey, Corey. All right. So he lives downtown, has an awesome life and everything like that. But it looks like he's had this shift of thinking. And that's what expectations do for us, is it makes us realize that things either are changing or have changed. And therefore, how is it affecting us as business owners? How is it affecting us as individuals, as men, as women, as parents? And how does that really now have to mean that we have to change because something out there changed for us? So that's really a lot that we're going to talk about today, is expectations and how that all plays out. So we already know gas prices have gone up, and there's a lot of us that expect gas prices alone to go up some more, along with everything else happening in the economy. So as a business owner, your first thought has to be, okay, something's changed over here. How am I going to navigate so I can still function? And believe it or not, I already have some clients that are starting to, that had gone back to working in the office and seeing their clients face to face and all like that, are already starting to shift back to, I hate to say, the Zoom mode or GoToMeeting or any of those online platforms, the Microsoft team meetings, things like that, just so not everybody has to get in their cars, fill up at some outrageous price for gas, and get to a meeting in person. So, you know, not as much fun, especially seeing things are being lifted because of COVID. We definitely have a desire to be more together and more engaged and all that wonderful stuff, and starting to see people be out more and feel a little more relaxed, less tension. And now, boom, here we go with the economy and the gas prices alone. So, Henry, what do you think else is going to happen with our economy because of this passive aggressive, it's the other guy's fault, it's the Ukraine's fault, it's Biden's fault, it's somebody's fault, but not ours.
And I can't believe how they utilize this war to raise gas prices. You, as knowing all this kind of stuff, can you tell me this? What does raising the gas prices so high fix anything? It just gives the
fix anything? You really saying that? What does it? It doesn't fix anything.
Anything. All it does is just reap profits to the excessive for these big oil companies. That's it.
Right.
Now, the American public and everybody else is going to say, just like you just said, get rid of the cars, get rid of the all the different costs that there are for insurances, upkeep, all that, and the gas, and be done with it. You know, I can go over to the drugstore and buy all this grain alcohol or alcohol and put it in my car and just run it off that. It's cheaper.
Well, actually, I had my electrician over yesterday because, well, he's my new electrician, actually, because the old electrician just didn't have time for me. And I'm like, I don't have any power in my hot tub. Anyway, so new guy comes over, fixes me up real quick, and starts talking about the move to the electric cars and how, maybe some of this raising of the gas prices is all about pushing the economy and pushing us on a subliminal level to start thinking and purchasing things like electric vehicles. What do you think?
I think so too, and I think that's the big push. Plus, they're going to reap all this money and profits and create their own electric battery manufacturing plants and really push into the development and the new type of cars and trucks that are coming out. Now, what's scaring me, they're now going with driverless cars, trucks, everything. So
that driverless mess, I cannot embrace.
Wait.
Not get my head
if
around
I get
that.
pulled over and they say, "Sir, have you been drinking and driving?" No, sir. The car is driving itself.
That's very true. But I don't think that's been perfected yet, and that's what scares me. They still have those driverless cars failing tests and, doing closed courses and running over people and dogs and stuff like that. It's not perfected yet.
Let me tell you this one that I saw, and I was like, my mouth dropped open. The guy was put into park itself, and he was pushing the trailer back to park it, a big trailer that's, big trailer where you can't see through it or nothing. But as he was backing up, he's looking at his camera, and the camera's seeing right through the trailer. It wasn't on behind the trailer. It was seeing right through the trailer.
Really?
That's 4D stuff.
Wow.
I don't know if you saw that.
I mean, wow. Wow for smallbusinesses.com. We're gonna totally forget about why I'm here, which is to help encourage and promote webinars to help small businesses. Because I'm already too fascinated by this story from Henry.
Wow, I stay up with technology, and it's like, oh Lord have mercy, what's going on here now? It's like Jesus, and we're going to be into these cars, just like you said, and all the newer cars, all the electric cars have all this high-tech stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
They drive themselves. You just type in everything there, and it's Jesus, okay? They'll stop the car if you're going to get in an accident. If you're backing up into somebody, it puts the brakes on for you.
Right.
And so the insurance companies are going to figure a way out to get you anyway. Back to how I got caught, Step out of the car, Mr. Archuleta. Oh, you can't insure. I'm too jacked up to get out of the car. So, okay, so they give me a ticket, went to court. Okay, so they're trying to drive my insurance rates way up. I had to tell the insurance company, I wasn't driving. Told the judge, I wasn't driving, but you were in the car, in the driver's seat. I might have been, but the car was driving itself. So there's a big cross right here. So we're going to be able to get out of it.
I hope so.
You're not buying none of this, right?
Well,
but
it's just
going
like
to be happening.
It's just like every time there's something new, new technology, new product, new service. It doesn't take that long, it seems like, for us to kind of like just go through this like wave of change, like, whoo, this is how we're changing, to morph into adapting to new software, new situations, new products, new everything. The thing is, though, there will always be, in my opinion, there will always be old schoolers, okay? There's going to be those that absolutely do not, will not, and refuse to embrace change. And therefore, their levels of expectations are going to say, hey, I'm going to be in my little cocoon. I'm going to function in my little cocoon. And I don't care if there's electric cars and tubes to shoot people from one building to another and things to do whatever. I am going to continue to operate my life the way I want to.
That's fine and dandy, but I think they're taking out all those little things that you hook your horse to. So there's no places to put a horse anymore. So if you're staying in your old school ways, you can't ride your horse into town anymore. I tried, And
You tried? It didn't work?
I was trying to be old school, it didn't work.
Well, I get that. The electrician yesterday was talking about, he says, just wait, and I can't believe this because there is far more. He started citing all the car companies that are doing electric cars now for the first time. So we're way beyond the Prius at this point. And we have
Kia came out with
Kia. Yep, Kia's really been pumping their electric cars. He said there's one out by Mercedes-Benz. There's
two brand new car companies.
One's out by Honda.
There's two brand new car companies.
Whoa, really? Just for electric?
Yes.
What are they called?
I can't remember. They're really funny names.
Oh, good, because now he doesn't have to plug them and get that money under the table.
I like that.
But I can believe it. I mean, it was kind of like quietly kept, but there was a guy who invented I forgot the proper name, like a car plane is basically what it was, which was a car and a small plane combined.
Wow.
That would fit in your garage.
Wow.
Yep, an experimental vehicle that flew and it worked just fine. Of course, the millions of dollars is another story and all like that. So I definitely can believe that there's going to be, like my electrician said, he said, just wait. We're going to go to the gas pump. It's going to be half gas tanks and half all the electric plug-in devices so that you can plug in your car. And so
let's go further. Did you know that Tesla has they invested big, and it's in Thornton, Colorado, where they invested big into solar. So there's installing solar in your home to charge this big giant battery that sits in your home that powers your home and your car. So you plug your car into this solar power, and the big giant batteries in your garage. It powers your house and your car.
Okay, my words for that is wow. So that is fabulous. I mean, that shows the forward-thinking, and again, levels of expectations that businesses are starting to have, that forward thinking to improve our lives. The question always begs, what is the downside?
Well, the downside is lithium-ion batteries. They're really bad for the environment. It's really hard to get their hands on it. Now, to start a business, and I was thinking of this, there's already others that have done it, collecting batteries. Collecting all these used old batteries and getting that lithium out of there and just recycling them and giving them back. It's big right now. It's huge. Huge.
Okay.
The people who are recycling are actually paying. We'll pay you for the per pound. We'll pay. And so now that's going on big time.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So there's all these variables that are happening right now. And if you're up on the electric cars, you always think, okay, you told me last week or the week before about the war is going to bring you lots of different things that you can go with. Well, what you're saying right now, the change of electric cars, the high price of gas, everybody's going to electric cars. Well, what can we do to supply them with parts and pieces? Well, it's those batteries.
Yep. And so you're looking at really an uptick or a surge or a secondary market for the batteries that are out there now, which is fabulous. So as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, these can be unprecedented times for opportunity.
Yes.
Opportunity exists always, and especially exists during challenging times, because it's the smart business owner that takes the time to try to figure out, okay, not just how am I going to survive, how am I going to thrive, not just, still, okay, I'm going to make the bills every month, but how am I going to thrive? And sometimes that means branching off a little bit of your business into something else that is valuable, that people want, that people will listen to, that people will use, whatever it is, that it's not going to be a huge drain on your finances. So we call these other streams of income, which definitely I think every business owner should have. I don't know if you remember back in, I guess it would probably the late 70s when, maybe 70s or early 80s, Chrysler went on strike or something like that. The problem was whoever supplied them their tires was actually the one that went on strike, and the supplier shortage on the tires was a problem, and the company was failing, and all this other kind of stuff. And
Lee Iacocca was
right,
behind
right,
it.
Lee Iacocca.
I watched
turned
him. I
things around.
admired him. I always
I
watched what he
saw
did.
him in person.
Whoa.
I saw him in person, and he was phenomenal.
Mhm.
The whole thing I'm saying is this. Okay, I started this segment off today about expectations. So, some of the expectations you need to have as a business owner is one, things change all the time, even if you don't want it to change.
Like we do when we look in the mirror every morning. Who's that old guy in that mirror?
Did not have this wrinkle. Let me try to rub it out. Right.
It's from smiling so much. That's where you got it.
Is that? Oh, I was talking about a friend of mine who, back when we were in college, she refused to smile because she didn't want crow's feet.
Well, you're not fully dressed unless you're wearing your smile.
Ah, love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I love
That's
that.
true. That's real.
Uh-huh.
Because I see a lot of people with the social media, they're taking these selfies there, especially women, they go, or the duck lips and all that. I always say, you're not fully dressed unless you're wearing that smile. Then the next time, it does look great.
It does.
Yes.
It does. And I'm gonna bring that home a little bit. When you're dealing in business, if you don't feel that joy, that passion, that happiness, then you're naturally not going to smile. You are going to be very straight-faced, very serious, sometimes grimacing, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say to people, it's okay. I'll be ready to sing and dance. If they pull something like, "Can you speak tomorrow?" I'm like, "What?"
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm not really prepared, but okay. When you sometimes being vulnerable and saying to people, "I wasn't prepared for that," and just smiling behind it just relaxes not just you, but relaxes who you're talking to.
Yes, exactly right. And they feel good. They can feel your vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's the energy that you're portraying when you're going to, like for you speaking, they feel you. Sometimes you can go in there with your icebreaker and just, man, you give them smiling, laughing, or you say something like, I forgot my speech notes.
I went to a women's conference. Well, it wasn't a conference. It was really just maybe a seminar the other day. And there was a foreign woman up there from, I want to say Russia, I can't quite remember. Anyway, she's a photographer, and she told her story about how she got from basically her country and how she was in Canada for a while and then eventually got to the United States and all this stuff. So she was telling her life story. But before she started telling it, and very heavy accent, she says, "I have never had a public speaking engagement ever, so you will have to just help me out and forgive me." I mean, she's apologizing beforehand. And by the time she was into 5 minutes of her story, she just flowed. She just flowed because you could see on her face, she was just reliving these points in her life of gratitude. And she probably was like mid-40s at this point. I don't know, but she looked maybe about mid-40s. But she's talking about how from the time she was 17 to this point, all the things that took place and all her hardships, and how she has this successful photography business now, which was really great. But the funny part was, after 5 minutes, it was just like she was just
Yeah.
and she was talking about the people that made a difference in her life.
She felt that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You could literally see her like reliving the joy and the gratitude of having met certain people during the course of her building her business. So, sometimes it's like if you expect the best, you get the best.
And see, Carla, you've done some public speaking. You've been out to do emceeing and a variety of
Yes.
different things. And when you walk into that room, whether it be 10 people, whether it be 150 people, whatever it may be, even sometimes 2,000, when you're going to do that, you're going to get up on that stage. You still get the butterflies and all that, but
Yeah.
there's always a way that you come across to open up with something. Your icebreaker is what they call more or less. Sometimes you can't break it. It's like you have to go to, okay, step two.
Yeah, go to another plan. Those extra plans that we have in our
Yeah.
back pocket.
Yeah,
Yeah, when
this
plan
will
one
work.
doesn't work,
Yeah.
you know. And actually, that's one of the things that WOW helps teach you. WOW for smallbusinesses.com. There's webinars on here that kind of talk about making your mistakes. It talks about how to be better prepared. It talks about ways that you can feel more confident in yourself. Affirmations, when I am true to myself, talks about that. Do you want the problem or the solution? Something I used to always ask my oldest. And I really felt she always wanted the problem. But
This one I really like.
hmm
This one is true to you and me a big time, because you and I have been through a lot of processes where it's like, God, I wanted this to work. What happened? And it's like, and a lot of people, and I hear this a lot on, there's a radio commercial and a TV commercial stressing this. Failure will always bring you success. If you fail so many times, you've already gauged your way through the rough waters. So you know what not to do again, what not to, kind of people.
You know, you look at and I'm encouraging everyone out there listening, you've got to look, listen, go YouTube, Google, I don't care. Look at Thomas Edison. Look at Ben Franklin. Look at all these inventors and how many things they actually invented. But they talk also too about all the failures, all the things that didn't happen, that didn't work. And as a small business owner, if you don't have any failures, something is wrong.
That's right.
And I say that seriously. Either you're lying to yourself that you just out the door, I'm a success. Awesome. Okay. Or you had a lot of failures. You're just not telling anybody about your story.
And it's true. Some people, it's such on some of them. You've had such failure that
you don't want to talk about.
How much you lose? A lot of money.
You know, I was thinking about that recently because I'm dealing with an entrepreneur. It's been a full year trying to get his product off the ground, and every conversation, this man. So I'm gonna say, hi, Mike. This man is awesome. Very rarely have I ever talked to him and he's been downtrodden. He said, so his big one was, SBA is gonna give us $800,000. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I was like, no, I don't believe it, but I'll wait till it hits the account, right? Okay, didn't happen. And it was like that. That really crushed him for like 5 minutes. And then it's like, I'm getting Hickenlooper on this, I'm getting the head of SBA on this, and they're going to find our taxes, and they're going to give us this loan. And he's been working diligently on this now for about 45 days. And again, we're a little closer, but we're still not there yet. But I mean, just the
perseverance.
vision.
Yeah, the perseverance.
And that's what it takes.
If you're not afraid to keep moving forward, and that's the thing, it's like, and this place where you're sitting in right now is the same thing. People could not see that vision at all. They would look at you, hey, you're out of your mind. I go, in the future, everything's going to go to this.
Right.
Sure it is.
And this guy's got a state-of-the-art tech device, but he's got to have the money behind it.
And you got to keep going.
In order to get it to the market.
That's right.
And yes, we are closer than last year this time, okay? And I'm still sticking with them. There are times I'm sitting there saying, why am I still dealing with them, But I realize that he's got a lot of this truly WOW for small businesses thing down pat. He's looking to find the money and the focus. He's looking to grow, and he definitely has a ton of courage that at this point, he has been beaten down so many times. It's amazing. He's been working on this thing. I think he got his patents like 5 years ago.
Wow.
But still, from that point to this point, is just now the device is in production. He sent me a text, told me the SIM cards are almost finished because they got to hook up with your phone and the device and all this other kind of stuff. So, I mean, just sometimes your levels of expectations have got to be about you. Your levels of expectations have got to be, I'm going to make it no matter what, okay? But, in the meantime, like, he's been going broke, right? And so he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Da, 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 da. And then he's like, what am I talking about? I got skills. I did stuff. I did a whole bunch of stuff before I started this business. And so he's gone back to his grassroots and started doing some of his tech work that he does with his hands and working for, do some freelance jobs until he can get the product actually launched. And he's like, but it's like every week it's like, we're gonna make millions, we're gonna make millions, and just that thought that he believes that much in himself and what he's doing because he wants to change the world speaks volumes.
Now, what you're saying there is leads me back to this one company that I was dealing with. She was a retired police officer, so was her husband from the LA sheriffs, and they've developed this accident information component. You open it up, it had the cards to get the witnesses and all these different variables that were within this little packet.
Mm-hmm.
And she was selling the heck out of them. She'd go to all the police shows and all that stuff, and all the police forces were buying them because they worked
Great.
good. This was 15 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here she is now. She goes, business has really slowed down. I go, you need to go digital with all this stuff.
Yep.
And just convert this to digital. And,
Right.
And then
Right.
you can also create a widget, because some of these programmers will develop a widget where it sends it right to the police department and fills in right into the database immediately. And she goes, oh, I don't know. About a month or two later, a Chinese company did the same thing, except took it digital, and is now just beating down on her business. So it's like she should have jumped on that so quick. And they took it away from more or less, grabbed her idea and just took it digital and ran with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, though,
it's innovation, like you said. If you don't
it is.
Do it, like you said, have the courage,
Mm-hmm.
feel the need to go ahead and change. If you have to retool your business to go a certain way, if you don't, you could be in trouble. Especially, like you say, now with trucking companies, transportation companies, Uber, everybody, they're putting their surcharges on there. If you don't retool immediately and get right with it to renegotiate your path, you can go down quick.
You can.
Quick, yeah.
I think that goes a little bit to the grow. I make things flourish. Okay, so this is a discussion on to create the perfect conditions to make your business grow. So, but you have to have that level of expectation that you can grow, that you will grow,
That's
that
right.
you want to grow. And then you have to start really formulating in your mind, and by testing the market and talking to people or focus groups or whatever, how are you going to be more competitive? But you have to know that you even want to, more or less step up your game, and what stepping up your game really looks like for you in your business. Because it's not an easy task, You have all these people giving you great ideas out here on how to do this and how to do that, but how do you do it? So one of the things that wowforsmallbusinesses.com talks about is that. It's like, well, how do I grow my business? Well, I'm going to say you got to do step 1, step 2, step 3. That's how you grow your business. I'm not just going to tell you, hey, go grow your business, rah, rah, all that wonderful stuff. I'm also going to give you those actual tools to say, these are the steps that you should take to get from point A to point B. And I do this on all the webinars. It's not just about, yay, I'm so glad you're an entrepreneur. It's, okay, I want to make you a better entrepreneur. I want you to have better business practices. I want you to think forward. I want you to think positive. I want you to get rid of that negative thought that may be going in your mind of, oh, the gas prices are so high, I guess I won't be able to go and deliver anything to my clients anymore, or have meetings anymore, or something because it's killing me on gas, instead of like, oh, stop that.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Adjust.
Sometimes it's like, as one would say, figure it out. Figure out how do you make your life, your business, your world a better place.
And that's exactly right, because with Wow for Small Businesses, and you can go there on that, you can see it up there on the back screen, www.forsmallbusinesses.com, and look at the webinars. And you can buy them by the month, by the quarter, or by the entire year, and be on there. And it'll take you that long just to go through them all, and then you have to repetitively go back in there so you get more ideas. And there's a couple of free ones. Is there the one free one?
Yes.
And so you can go on there and you can actually get a gist of what is being said in these webinars, and they're really cool. It's like, and then you'll have to go back a second time because you don't catch it all, and that's just the way it works,
And they also too can go on Facebook. For those of you that are still on Facebook, yes, they're still on Facebook. Okay, so if you do the Facebook Wow, there is shorter versions of some of these webinars that are just anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. I think the longest is maybe 15, to give you a little bit of words of wisdom, give you a little insight about what the site's about just being uplifted for the day. I did a lot of really short 30-second or 1-minute commercials and just said, boom, here's your words of wisdom for the day. Now get up and go do it, you know. So
And that's encouraging. It
that.
really is. Sometimes you'll be, Jesus, you go get those words of wisdom, and they really, hit you in the right way. Where, yes, I can do this. Yes, and because if you get the negative feeling going in your mind, that could really detour your thoughts of the day. If you come out with some positive thoughts, then all of a sudden, hey, I made some money. Hey, this customer. Hey, it's you're giving it that positive vibe out there. And that's the way it works. It really does work that way.
You know, one thing that I talk about in some of these webinars is how are you starting your day? So we go back to expectations. When you wake up in the morning, literally, when you have first opened your eyes, what is your first set of thoughts? Is it, oh my God, I gotta do this again, I gotta get up? Or it's, wow, okay, God bless me with another day, and this is what I'm going to do with my day. What is your first set of thoughts? Like that first 15 minutes to 30 minutes, first thing in the morning, because that can set the tone for your entire day. Okay, so what are your expectations from yourself about what kind of day you're even going to have?
Sometimes I feel like Rice Krispies in the morning.
You feel like Rice Krispies?
Because when I'm getting up in the morning, it's snap, crackle, pop.
I knew he was going to say that.
You knew that was coming. But it's like that. Sometimes you have to hustle your way up and get up and smile. One thing I've always looked at, and let's see if you agree to this one.
Okay.
When the sun rises, it gives me the rays of a new day. And I always think, hey, this is going to be a new day. Forget about yesterday. If it was a poor day, whatever, today's going to be nice. As you see the rays come in, you try to count how many good things are going to happen to you as you see the rays come through.
I like that.
Isn't that
I
nice?
like
And
that.
I've done that since I was young.
Oh.
I always go sit there and just watch the sun come up, and it made me feel great.
So what I do when I first get up, so I have my bed's here, and then it's like almost facing slightly diagonal to the window. Big huge